Have you ever caught yourself saying, "It's just easier if I do it myself"? Or, "By the time I have to explain this to my husband, I could have already finished it." Or maybe this one, "If I don't remind everyone, it won't get done." If you've ever thought those things, this episode might make you a little uncomfortable because today I want to talk about something I think many high achieving moms accidentally do. We become so good at holding everything together that we unknowingly create a family that depends on us to hold everything together. Welcome back to Struggle and Strength Moms Balancing It All with Nikki. This week, I had a conversation with another mom. She's incredibly successful. She's intelligent. She's driven. She's the kind of woman everyone depends on. But she admitted something that I think so many moms can relate to. She said she feels completely overwhelmed because she feels like she's the one carrying everything. Most of what she talked about centered around the relationship with her husband. She felt like she was doing more, planning more, remembering more, managing more. And as she was talking, I started to realize I've had those exact same feelings, like literally almost every day. Not because my husband isn't capable, but because I realized I had fallen into something that I now call the high achieving mom trap. So let me just tell you a little bit about this, okay? Next week, my daughter and I were going to another diving competition. Woo! It's our last one of the summer, thank goodness, but this is the most important one. And we're going to be gone for almost a week. So, what does that look like? That's my husband staying home with the boys, and he's got to manage everything, the schedule, the food. Let's just be honest, okay? It's a week of us gone and not being here where like literally I do the laundry every night, I do the dishes every night. So, let me just tell you, it's going to be interesting. And I want to ask you something. How many of you prepare to leave by creating even more work for yourself? Because that's exactly what happens for me. Before I even pack my suitcase, because I haven't packed it yet, I went to the grocery store. I stocked up on the food. That way, my husband and the boys don't even have to worry about food while I'm gone. Because let's be honest, if they go to the grocery store, I don't even know what I would walk back into. In our pantry, I'm sure there would be plenty of things that we don't need or ever buy, but it looked enticing to them. I went ahead and I pay all the bills ahead of time. I look over the calendar, make sure he knows exactly what day all the activities are, where he's got to be, like plan everything out. And even while I'm gone, I'm probably going to be in constant contact with him, reminding him of the activities, reminding him, what to cook or what to do, all those different things. And while I'm doing all of this, I actually have to stop and laugh at myself because my husband is a grown man. He's an incredible father and he's completely capable. And here I am acting like the entire operation of our family is going to fall apart if I don't prepare every single detail while I'm gone. And that's when it actually hit me really hard. Maybe the problem isn't that our husbands aren't capable. Maybe we've become so good at doing everything that we don't even realize that we're creating a system where everyone depends on us. Let me ask you this question. Okay. I've lived in my house for 6 years, and every single time that my husband needs something, he has no idea where to find it. I'm like, it hasn't moved. Everything in our house has a place, and yet you still can't find it. Why, after 6 years of living in the same house, do you not know where something is? And it's because we've trained ourselves to step in before anyone else has the chance to do so. We've trained our family to rely completely on us. If my husband is home and I'm home, who do you think the kids are going to go to? Me. Even though I may be working and he's sitting in his chair reading or playing a video game, they're coming to me because we are open. The kids know we know everything, right? We've trained them. We've trained them that mommy has everything done. Mommy knows where everything is. Mommy will help you do all these things. And when they come to me, I'm like, "You can go ask your dad. You do know that, right?" And then I get mad. Why do I get mad? Because I feel like I'm in the middle of work and I need time to, like, be creative and like, I'm right in the middle of things, and I can't have these constant interruptions, but I'm mad because my husband is not doing anything and totally free, and they could totally go to him, but I've trained them to come to me, and I've trained them that because I anticipate their problems before they even happen. I solve them before anyone else notices. I remember everything. I'm very willing to help them out and do things. It was really funny. I met this woman at this IT event, which, I'm the chief operating officer for a healthcare IT company. It's very rare to have women in the IT world. It's mostly men at these events. And it was so funny because she was at the water station and I was like, "How you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm good." And we talked about, being a mom, because she was like, "Oh, I'm doing my job best. I anticipate needs before they even happen." And she's like, "I'm getting my whole entire table waters because I noticed that none of them got anything to drink." And I was like, "You must be a mom." And she was like, "I am. How did you know?" I said, "Because you're anticipating, like, you're always trying to solve the problems before they happen. You're always trying to anticipate the needs before they occur." And she's like, "Yeah, I am." And it's just that's why we wonder why no one else does these things and step up, and we get so mad at our husbands because we feel like we are the only ones doing things, and it's because we have trained everyone and we're always constantly anticipating needs that we're always doing the things, and we don't give anybody else the chance to step in and help. And I don't think high achieving women do this because we're controlling. And I don't think we do it because we think we're better. I think we do it because we spent years becoming exceptional problem solvers at work. We're leaders, we're planners, we're project managers, we're operations experts. People rely on us because we get things done. My boss always tells me, like, "Why do you always come and, like, volunteer me to do everybody else's job?" He's like, "Because I know you'll get it done." I'm like, "I appreciate that you know that you can rely on me, but there's other people in this organization, and you're literally giving me all their work. And not that I don't appreciate it, but I'm busy with my own." He's like, "I know, but I need it done." I'm like, "Oh, I get that." But it's like people rely on us because we get things done. They know we are reliable. And then we come home and we use those exact same skills with our families. We notice everything, we remember everything, we solve everything, we offer to help out with everything. We give our kids our food when they're hungry because we know we would rather have them eat versus us. And eventually, doing everything becomes our default setting. But here's where the trap begins. We start telling ourselves, it's just easier if I do it. By the time I have to explain every little step, I could have already finished and be done. And if I don't remind everyone, it's not going to happen. And maybe that's true today, but what happens a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? If someone always steps in before you have the opportunity to figure something out, eventually they stop trying. Not because they don't care, but because someone else has already assumed the responsibility. So you see how we just fall into this trap? And we've created it not because we wanted to, it's just the way that life happened. Women are so much more capable of being multitaskers and getting things done, whereas men are like very single task focused. And it's very hard for them to do multiple things at once. My husband can't even talk and drive at the same time. Like, if I try to ask him a question and then his driving, I was like, "Why are you driving 30 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm just talking." I was like, "Yeah, we can't talk. Like, you need to focus on driving." And one of the things I've learned as a chief operating officer is this, that great leaders don't measure success by how much they accomplish themselves. They measure success by how many people they develop. Think about that. If I did every task at work as my boss tries to put on me because he knew that I could do it faster, our company would never grow. My team would never grow. They would never develop as individuals or as a unit because I would always be doing everything. Leadership isn't about proving how capable that you are. Leadership is about creating opportunities for other people to become capable too. So, why do I apply that principle at work, but forget it at home? And that's what we have to ask ourselves. And so, I do a lot of this with my kids. I love to create leadership opportunities for them. And I feel like that is a huge reason why people always say like, "Wow, how do you do that? Like, how are your kids amazing?" Like yesterday, we did a vendor event and my daughter had to leave to go to diving. And then we met up with her and we brought she made over 80 mini cakes to sell at this vendor event. And my middle son made these 3D printed earrings. They were phenomenal. And then my youngest, he was in charge of all the bracelets that we've made over the years that we've sold at different vendor events. And they each had their own little, spot at the table. But afterwards, we went to the dive practice, and one of the moms, she was like, "Your kids are amazing." Like she couldn't believe that my daughter had literally made over 80 mini cakes, different kinds too. There was Oreo chocolate cake. There was or Oreo fudge brownie cake, something like that. There was cheesecake and cinnamon muffin and um, M&M cookie cake. 4 different kinds of cakes, over 80 of them, and she was like, "Holy cow." Like, when did she have the time to do this? I told her, the day before, literally, we were up, like, before diving, after diving, till midnight, making all these cakes, and then the morning of. She's like, "Your kids are amazing. They're so talented." Why is that? And the reason is because I've always led them. I've always told them, "You can do anything that you wanna do. What do you wanna do?" And I encourage that at home. And so this summer, they're talking about, "Can we play Nintendo? Can we do these things?" I'm like, "What have you done to grow yourself, to grow your business, to earn money?" Because yes, it's great that you can go have fun, and summer is about fun and relaxing, but we've also every summer, they have done PowerPoint presentations, they've done book reports, they've done things to keep their minds growing and learning, they've done courses, we've done vendor events, they've sold things, they've done lemonade stands, like, the works, they sold things at our garage sale. And so we decided we would do this vendor event yesterday, and it was amazing because I've given them the opportunity to develop and to learn, and the people yesterday at the event were so amazed. There was a point in time where they were going and introducing all the vendors and doing this Facebook Live event, and they said you can only have one person speak at each table, and my middle son, he was only 9. He spoke in front of a room full of 50 people, adults, right? There's all pretty much all adults. And he spoke up and told about their whole entire business, about them making cakes and earrings and bracelets and teaching other kids how to become independent around the house and how to create their own businesses. And it was incredible watching him do that because over the last 6 years, that's what I've been creating with them. That's what I've been working towards, is leading them to that pathway to develop their individualized selves. And the uncomfortable part for me sometimes is that our greatest strength becomes the very thing keeping us overwhelmed. We don't carry the mental load because we're stronger than everyone else. We carry it because we've convinced ourselves that it's easier than letting someone else learn. And maybe without realizing it, we've become indispensable. And I feel like that's why so many high achieving moms are in this like mental overload because um, we're so, we've created this position for ourselves where we're constantly trying to be everything to everyone and we forgot about ourselves. And it's not that we don't want to relinquish the control, but we keep thinking in our minds, like, oh, if I just do it, it'll be so much quicker. Or it's so much easier if I just do it and I don't have to listen to anybody ask me, how do I do this? Like, it's every step of the way, right? It's like if you give your kid something to do, then you have to walk them through how to do it. And that can be very overwhelming. It also creates more work on your part because you're like, I just need to get the thing done and that's it. I get it, but there's also a moment where we can teach and lead our families to be the people, the families, the pack members that we need to help us out and step up to the occasion. And, somewhere along the way, I have been the one handling everything becomes so much a part of our identity that we say to everyone, right? Like there's so many I'm in a pharmacist moms group and there's so many high achieving women in there that complain about their husbands not stepping up. And I've done it, like, right? Like I complain all the time like why aren't you helping? Can you just do something? Can the kids come to you? But we've just created this environment, the mom trap, right? Like the high achieving mom trap because we're just so used to doing everything, being everything, knowing where everything is, anticipating everyone's needs, that we don't give the opportunity for anybody else to step up. And let me be really clear, like this episode isn't about blaming ourselves, putting the fault on us. It's definitely not about blaming our husbands. Every family is so different, and some husbands truly do carry like an incredible amount, and some moms are doing far more than they should. This isn't about keeping score, it's about recognizing patterns. Because if we're constantly jumping in, if we're constantly rescuing, if we're constantly managing, then we may unintentionally be preventing the very partnership that we've been praying for. And I'm guilty, totally guilty. And I complain, right? Like I'll tell my kids to do something and then I'll get upset that they don't know how to do it. I'm like, forget it. Like I'll just do it myself. And then it develops in that pattern. Like that's not helping them grow. Same thing with my husband. It's like, can you do this? And then by the time, he's like, yeah, sure. And then literally, like if he doesn't do it in that moment, then I get up and I do it. And he's like, what are you doing? I already told you I would do it. I'm like, yeah, but I want it done like now. And so in that moment, like he's already agreed to do it, but it's not quick enough for what I want done. And so then I just take it over again and I'm creating that trap, right? So then it's like, does he even want to say yes? Am I creating an environment where he wants to step up and help me because he's going to say yes? And if he doesn't do it quick enough, then I'm just going to do it myself. And then he's going to be like, well, why did I even volunteer? So here's the question I've been asking myself recently. Where am I making life harder than it needs to be? Because I won't let go. Not because I don't trust my husband, not because I trust myself more. Ouch, that one was hard to admit. But maybe we need to start thinking of things that we can let other people help us out with. Kids, husband, parents, friends, family, whatever it is. I think I've told you the story, like, when I was pregnant, like, people would be like, "Oh, let me help you," and I'm like, "No, I'm a capable woman, like, I can do this on my own," and I would carry the heavy things and all this stuff, and, it's like we don't take the help. But here, I think that's why we create this trap for ourselves where we're not willing to relinquish that to other people and we just need to do it. So maybe this week, instead of asking yourself, like, how do I get everything done? Ask yourself, where am I unintentionally preventing someone else from growing? Maybe it's letting your husband, you know, go grocery shopping. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Last time he did that, he like got all this random food. I'm like, what is this? But, he also did get all the things on the list too. So maybe it's letting your kids forget something every once in a while so that they learn responsibility. My daughter, the other day, my husband was driving her home from diving and they had to they were like almost home. They had to turn around and go back because she forgot her water bottle. And maybe it's resisting the urge to step in immediately. Exactly what I was just describing. Like when I asked my husband, like, hey, can you do this? And he's like, yeah, sure. And if he doesn't do it in the next like minute or two, I step in and I do it myself. Like maybe I need to stop doing that and just let him actually follow through. Because leadership, whether it's at work or home, isn't about doing everything yourself. Sometimes the greatest act of leadership is creating more space for someone else to succeed. So, if this episode resonated with you, I want you to know something. If you're a high achieving mom, your ability to get things done is one of your greatest strengths. The goal isn't to become less capable. The goal is to build a family where everyone gets the opportunity to become more capable too. Because when we stop believing that everything depends on us, we finally create space for the people we love to step up beside us instead of behind us. And then the mental load starts slowly going away. And it's just like we get to share. And the moms don't have to carry that all ourselves. So, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Struggle and Strength Moms Balancing It All with Nikki. If this episode encouraged you, I'd love for you to share it with another high achieving mom who feels like she's carrying the weight of the world. And until next time, remember, you don't have to prove your worth by doing everything. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is let someone else carry part of the load.